Hey, I'm Nick DiMatteo, and welcome to Music is Not a Genre, the interview edition. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, whether you're watching or listening. Don't forget you can support this podcast, patreon.com/musicisnotagenre, or at anchor.fm/musicisnotagenre. And as always, my public hub is on youtube.com/Nick DiMatteo. We have a very special guest. This week, we are joined by the great Lou Rawls. Let's take a listen to his most famous song and one of my absolute favorite songs of all time, You'll Never Find.
You'll never find, as long as you live, someone to love you tender like I do. You'll never find, no matter where you search, someone to care about you the way that I do. Oh, I'm not bragging on myself, baby, but I'm the one who loves you, and there's no one else. You'll never find, you'll take the end of all time, someone to understand you like I do. You'll never find the rhythm, the rhyme, all the magic we share, just us two. Oh, I'm not trying to make you stay, baby, but I know ifs and buts are maybes. You're gonna miss my loving. You're gonna miss my loving. You're gonna miss my loving. I know you're gonna miss my loving. You're gonna miss my loving. You are gonna miss my love. You'll never find another love like mine, someone who needs you like I do. You'll never see what you found in me. You keep searching and searching your whole life through. Oh, I don't wish no bad luck, baby, but there's no ifs and buts or maybes. Oh. You're gonna miss my loving. You're gonna miss my loving. You're gonna miss my loving. I know you're gonna miss my loving. You're gonna miss my loving. You are gonna miss my love. You're gonna miss my loving. You're gonna miss my loving. You are gonna miss my love. Oh, you're gonna miss my loving. Late in the midnight hour, baby. You're gonna miss my loving. When I'm long gone. You're gonna miss my loving. Miss my love.
I love that song. I can't get enough of it. It's from the time I heard it, from when I was a kid. I never tire of hearing that. And that brings me to today's guest. As I said, why don't you, sir, introduce yourself to everyone?
Well, this is Lon Dorsey, and people think when they're listening to Lou on that particular song on Reverb Nation that it's Lou Rawls. And when I was singing in Dallas, a lot of people thought that it was Lou Rawls.
It sounds so much like him. It's amazing.
Yeah, we sound alike, we looked alike, and the people just loved it.
Well,
And
now I
then-
think something I'd love people to know, that your people know, but my people don't know, and other people, is that the reason why that's such a special thing is not just because you look like him, you sound like him, you yourself are an excellent singer, because you actually knew Lou Rawls. Isn't that right?
Yes, he and I knew each other very, very well. I have several pictures of him and me together. One was at the Houston Astrodome, Houston Arena,
Okay.
Houston Arena, and that was the thing, I guess, around the 1990s. And I used to go to all the concerts. Well, I could get free tickets, so he just took a liking to me there, and I never had to pay for tickets.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, man, and so I had a natural voice like Lou. And
You really do. You sound so much like him. It's incredible. And I think what amazes me is that, I had done a podcast on one of his Christmas album last year, and, connected with you on your Facebook fan club page for Lou Rawls. And I know you do a lot of fan clubs for him. And I had no idea, that you actually knew him in real life, and you have a lot of stories to tell about him.
Oh, yeah. And in fact, I really want you to annex yourself to the fan club, because you're one of the young fellows that he was, I guess I would say that you're one of the young fellows that was coming up at that time. And so you have a place right here, and I have a place right here, and Lou has a place right there. And we have a chance to enlighten people.
God, yeah.
On the facts and everything.
Yeah.
And because frankly, at your age, it's a little fuzzy. And my age is, it's right there. And then maybe somebody else, it's a little fuzzy because they don't know exactly what was going on, but I knew what was going on, but I missed it by 13 years.
Wow.
And
yeah. 13 years.
Yeah, see, Lou was in the service, I believe, in 1957, 58.
Okay. Okay.
And I was in the service 67, 68.
Okay.
And so when he was in the service, he got out and continued his career. But while I was in the service, I got back and the guys were gone.
Oh, wow.
They
Yeah.
left the planet. I mean, they were getting involved. Sam Cooke was Lou Jr.'s godfather.
Really?
Sam was murdered in Dallas.
Yeah.
And everything that happened, it happened for a reason, but it just seemed like that once once Sam was gone, Lou went into Capitol Records in
Okay.
Los Angeles. I came home, nobody around.
Hmm.
And then I was singing in church for a while. And I knew something was up because all of the members that we had, they said, you know, he sounds just like Lou Rawls. And I was doing a song. I don't even remember what it was, but it was, I think, a Bill Gaither tune.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill Gaither. And it sounded like Lou Rawls singing it. You know?
Oh,
But
incredible.
I didn't know all about Lou then. That
Right.
was in 67, 68 when I got out of the military. I found out about Lou at that time, and I didn't really know him well, but I knew I liked his music.
So you didn't know him before you went into the service, and then you met him after you got out of the
I
service?
kind of did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I kind of did, you know, because it'd be impossible but Austin, where I got out, Austin was a what do you want to call it? Maybe a town where you did it wasn't a big blues town right then.
Okay.
And it was country. It was converting to blues
I see. Okay.
because everybody was converting to blues
Yeah.
in the 60s.
Yeah.
And I was doing Nat King Cole. I was doing Brooke Benton.
Brooke Benton.
Yeah. And I was doing Sammy Davis Jr.
Ooh.
Those were the three artists that I kind of sort of did. But when Lou came along, man, I tell you, it was all over because that was my natural voice. I
Yeah.
didn't feel comfortable singing Ramblin' Rose, you know.
Right.
I
Not quite
didn't-
your style. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel but Lou was just really right on for some of the things that he stood for, some of the things that he represented with his music, how he talked about Tobacco Road. Well, Loudermilk did Tobacco Road, but the poverty, all the things that went to make up the blues,
Mm-hmm.
that was where I was coming from.
So you could relate to where he was coming from too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had so yeah, but for right now, yes, that was it.
That's incredible. That's amazing. When you find an artist like that that you know you can connect with, and someone that close to you is just, it's a gift. That's a real gift.
Yes, and then the people all around now South Dallas was the real deal. The clubs in South Dallas, like the Plush Pub, the Flying Fox, Chocolate City. I think I'll do this right here. Yeah, Chocolate City. Just various clubs. It was a lot of clubs. Aranda's Place.
And these were all clubs in Dallas for blues music, or what kind?
South Dallas.
South Dallas.
Yeah. I mean, it was full of clubs.
That's
And my
awesome.
mother had small cafes, lounges, clubs when I was little. I lived in a club.
Oh, you're kidding. You did?
Yes.
I did too.
Yeah, clubs on one side of the building and the residential on the other side.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And you went in through the garage door. You know?
Wow. So you actually lived in the building that had the club.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
And so many things that happened, like stepping fetching. It
Yeah.
was it was really just, I mean, we were living history and didn't know it.
Yes. Yes.
And
Especially at that time. Yeah.
if you want to, I used to go down to the public library, and all the records I could get with Billie Holiday, with Ella Fitzgerald,
Mm-hmm.
and these were thick sleeve records with real what would you call them? You just had to see them. These were real thick manuals where you had 5 or 6 records, and you
Ooh,
couldn't
yeah.
damage them because they were in such sleeves.
Okay. So this was like
Yeah.
a box set of vinyl
Yeah,
records.
like
Yeah.
maybe 7 or 8 albums,
Oh, incredible.
and they were in mint condition.
Mm.
And I listened to all the greats. I just say that in view of the time, all the greats.
That's great.
And then when Ella, Sammy Davis Jr., all these people came out, there was a little time in there that was 13 years. And that was Lou Rawls. And he came on like a storm.
Mm. When
He
was
had-
that?
That was 69, 70.
Okay.
And it was timeless because you didn't know what he was really doing. He was, you could find him. He did so many songs. He did, my goodness, everything was Lou making it his own.
Oh, yes. God, yes. That's what I
And
love
so-
about his voice.
Yeah. And I had a voice then, you know, it's starting to you know, everything must come to an end, but yeah, but I think it's still there.
When did you do that recording that we heard at the beginning of the interview?
That was about 6, 7 years ago.
Okay, yeah. Pretty
Yeah.
recent then. Yeah.
And Lou was see, I don't want to talk much about the family on here
Sure.
at this time because this was a time when people said, well, Lou didn't do right, do this, do that, you know, he didn't do things, but you have to understand that he was all there was for a while.
In what sense? He was all there was.
Yeah, because when um, Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, people like Sarah Vaughan were trying to concoct their thing, Lou was coming out with this sweaty, don't give a shit type thing that had to do with being highly upset. I mean, it had to, if you listen to the songs that he did, and you knew where he was come from, south side of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
You know, the cold was so cold that you could see holes through the cracks of the walls.
Oh boy, God.
And he'd say, well, I had to put on my goloshes. It's galoshes.
Yeah, yeah.
My goloshes,
I
because
like that.
my grandmother didn't play that stuff. And she said, boy, I'll try my best to kill you if you tear up my bedclothes.
Right.
Because his shoes had buckles on them.
Huh.
And the shoes would tear up the linen.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. And but I'm reminded of the things that my mother did. And we were in Dallas in a housing project, but there was a lot of love.
Yeah.
And that's where the blues came from. It was tempered between love and hardship.
That's such a great way to describe where the blues comes from. Between love and hardship.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel it. In any good blues song, you can feel that.
Yeah, I mean, given the fact that even though the times now are really hard, where they're just shooting Black people just right, left, and sideways, and coming up with cockamamie stories, you know, even at that, there's something that's there, and we actually own it. First, it was the spirituals, which they call Negro spirituals, and then it was the blues, and then it was soul. When people making a last attempt at love, a last try, last chance, and Lou came along and tried to show people what it was about. And I started doing these songs. I had a set in my home with various recording instrument speakers and so on.
Yeah.
And I would sing a song 20 times. And it was just, it couldn't be beat. Lou Jr. said that you sound just like my dad.
Yeah, wow.
And he said, I can't tell it. But but it was an era.
Yeah.
We didn't know it was happening. And I never did know.
Well, when
So
and you look back on that now, how do you feel? Do you feel like it made a difference, or what are your feelings about that era?
I feel like it went too fast.
Hmm.
I feel like the music that I was capable of doing went by so fast, and then rap music came up, and I wasn't ready, because my music and Lou's music were similar, and I didn't get a chance to understand what music meant to me.
So because like there was a certain kind of music that had been around for a while, and then at that point in time, things were starting to shift away from that. And
Yeah.
before you got to a point where you felt like you could live it and love it, absorb it, and have a solid, existence, everything moved over to
Poof.
disco, hip hop, rap, and all of that. Yeah.
Poof.
Yeah. Poof. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll record something called, well, I'm not going to do it on your show because they'll be done with it.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll have to think about, but anyway, everything happened.
Yeah.
1 minute I was doing, Louis Armstrong did his own music so much that he left no stones unturned.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he turned it over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
So it wasn't much good doing that. And, but I felt like if I had a chance with Lou's music where I could have a time to develop my own,
Mm-hmm.
because everything takes development. Well, some guys came into the clubs and they said, hey man, you ought to be in the studio. Man, you really should be in the studio. I said, who wants to know? I don't see any big name people, and you have to watch out for these people.
Okay.
Because they'll be trying to do something with you, and they're nothing, So
yeah. Like
so
they're trying to make money from you doing music, and they don't do anything for you, or what do you mean?
No, they don't you look at it like, okay, if you know Gamble and Huff,
Oh yeah.
that's a big deal. But then
I'm
these
from
guys,
Philly, so
these guys were nobodies
yeah.
and trying to get a contract. But I didn't know they were nobodies.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay.
You don't know.
No.
And so if you sign something with somebody, they can tie you up for years. And I did some things with various artists. When I was in Austin, Texas, the Iron Gate Club.
Okay.
very little swanky place.
Hmm.
My mother was a genius. For all she knew, she got me into the gate. But I was doing Ramblin' Rose. I was doing Johnny Mathis songs.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it, but I could do Johnny Mathis songs, the high pitch.
Yeah, that's a very different voice from Lou Rawls. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But when Lou Rawls came along, I jumped on the train.
Well, you know, it's funny because I'm listening to you talk, and even in your talking voice, it has that quality that's like a Lou Rawls quality. There's a fullness to it, and it you know resonates in a certain way. You could tell that the music would fit you so well.
Yeah, the thing about it, music. See, the thing about it was that in the cafes and clubs back then, everybody was looking. Everybody was watching. The women would be watching. Who's that? Who's that? That was a hotbed of things like in Dallas. You go to the club, you say, who is that guy right there? Who's that guy right there? Who's Don Diego? Roscoe?
Oh,
A.D. Hall, all these guys. Who's that guy there? But when you came out on stage, I was playing because I didn't even feel like I wanted to sing.
oh,
I was playing around. I walk off the stage in the middle of a song.
ah,
I didn't know what recording artists did. I didn't know what was what. I didn't know that people could stand right there and be great.
oh, yeah.
I didn't know it.
Do you think because you grew up in that world of the club that you kind of took that for granted, that you were like, oh, I'm just playing, it's not that big a deal?
Yeah, I did, because I didn't want to admit that I might not know anything.
Oh,
And the artists around there, see, I knew Johnny Taylor. He and I went to the same club all the time, and I opened for him.
wow.
I didn't know Johnny Taylor was Johnny Taylor.
Yeah. Well, you knew a lot of people. You knew a lot of people.
Yeah, all the guys were right there.
Yeah.
One of the biggest guys that disappeared on me when I felt like he was more than I thought. That was Mal Johnson. It was more to him than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And he would make deals for me and everything.
Oh.
And Ernie Johnson, people like Ernie Johnson, who just an itinerant guy, just somebody who's always on the turf. And now he's older now. And it's all over. I mean, he can sing the blues, but we were at a place called West End in Dallas.
Okay.
And T-Bird Gordon's show band. He was a big name, but I didn't know it.
Okay. Yeah.
I looked up, and one day he was in Japan, and the next day he was back in Dallas, so I didn't know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Lou was all I had.
And you met him, what year did you meet him?
Well, when I met him, I didn't know him.
You didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I met him, but I didn't know him. I just heard people saying, "Hey, Lou," you know. I
Yeah.
didn't know him. But when I met him, the second time, that was about 1980.
Oh, okay.
And the Fairmont Club, Fairmont Club, the Fairmont Hotel
Hmm.
knew me through public relations.
Okay.
And so Betty Klepper said, why don't you come to the concert, Lou Rawls concert? And I said, well, I bought 5 tickets
Huh.
and nobody showed up but me. So they took my tickets, they took the tickets and gave me my money back for $120. And I was sitting there by myself. I thought it would be pretty nice, but I was by myself.
Yeah.
And so Lou, and I had a chance to see him in action on a small set because that hotel was like 100,
Okay.
maybe 200 people
Yeah.
soaking wet.
Huh.
And people didn't want to applaud. You know, a guy took his girlfriend's hands and held them down where she couldn't applaud.
Why?
And I said, "That's all right, Lou, we got you, baby." And so I was cutting up and he made it through that set. It's just,
Oh.
I tell you what it was. I tell you what it was. It was jealousy.
Oh,
Man,
really?
yeah, it's jealousy because that was a small, the Fairmont was a huge hotel, but it
Mhm.
had a small club scene
Yeah.
just for the people who recording artists to come through.
So you think the people in the audience were in music and they were jealous of Lou Rawls?
I think there might have been some people in there like that and others who just came to the deal.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, they were definitely jealous.
Which that's crazy because that by that point it's 1980. He'd been around for a while. He's practically a legend. You know, he's already, world
Yeah.
famous.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
enjoy him, you know?
while he had time and they're coming to see him, those, I mean, yeah, he had that. And he was at Adolphus Hotel, staying at the Adolphus. And I went over to the hotel and I called this room. I said, "Lou, are you awake?" He says, "Well, I am now." And I wanted to talk with him. So we went over to Sam's Steakhouse.
Hmm.
His name was Sambo, Sambol.
Oh, okay.
And I was very polite. So I wasted time. Instead of me going over there to his table, I waited till he got through and then he was ready to go. And he told me that he was gonna work on my music and do some things. He saw an opening and he never got a chance to do that. So that was just the lagging. When he got ready to go, he had to go. He's gone over here, over to London, to here, to there, everywhere.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And so I felt like that I kind of got jilted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yeah, of course.
but I was pretty famous then in the Dallas area,
Oh, nice.
LA.
Okay.
So I was really kind of taking it, you know, in place, and he was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he passed away.
Yeah. Too young, too.
Yeah, see, but then I had the Lou Rawls fan club. I had the I had the club at my uncle's club, which was the Shell in Dallas,
Okay.
but it was before the internet. So I sang the songs on the jukebox in front of the jukebox.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and people liked it. We had a small club in the oyster bar upstairs.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was a
wow.
one bar.
Huh.
So, one bar.
Yep.
And my uncle ran it like Hitler,
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
cut
Yeah.
out the shenanigans and don't do all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So Buddy Gilstrap. So
Okay.
so this is where I started singing Lou Rawls music on the
Right
jukebox.
around in when was this? The 70s?
Yeah, 74, 75.
Mm.
And because I was in church.
You're a church singer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe because I got into blues and jazz, I went out. And when I went out, that was at Uncle Buddy's.
Oh, okay.
And so it was a nice little jazzy set. So I could still go back home and do that. I mean, I was just trying to be something.
Yeah.
And you got one foot in the church and another foot on the blues scene and another foot with bands.
Mm.
And you know how confusing that can be.
Yeah, you're trying everything, right?
Yeah, you're trying at everything and maybe nothing works.
Yeah.
But then when you see it working, man, I mean, I never would have thought, like right now, that the Lou Rawls fan club, that I would be the prognosticator of that.
Oh, no.
I didn't think it. I never thought it.
Well,
But
why do you think it happened?
Lou said, "Hey man, why don't you do your own fan club?"
Oh,
I said, "No." I said, I think that this fan club is what you need to do, because you don't have a fan club. You had something over there and something over there, but it wasn't really anything that I would call a fan club. And I started getting fans together and people together and all kinds of things. It was my joy.
yeah.
I didn't have any reason to do anything else. And I don't know if I really thought I was about anything or not.
For you yourself, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then when I looked up and saw that it was a possibility, music was changing.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this around the 80s or earlier?
Yeah, it's around 79, 80.
Yeah.
And plus I was into marketing and public relations and advertising. I had a ad agency.
Okay.
from 1977, November 4th, 1977, and I was making pretty good money. And you know, you have to get it while you can get it.
Yeah.
So
Wherever it comes from.
I was making pretty good money from talk shows and radio talk shows, TV talk shows, and I wanted to do that in case I failed on music because I didn't know enough about music, and my music man was gone.
What did you do on the talk shows?
Business and law.
Oh, okay.
And if you look up on business and law on Google or something, or, you know, you'll see Lon Dorsey on business and law.
Okay.
Well, people said, what are you doing on business and law? I said, well, hey, you got to make some money some kind of way.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so I did law, where lawyers, you know, it was a law show.
Right.
Yeah. And it took off.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it satisfied me for years, so it took off. I didn't have any problem with it with my own brand.
Yeah. It's all
You know,
yours.
so
Yeah.
yeah, it's all mine. So when On Business and Law came on, it's me.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was
And
on
so-
a Dallas station?
Yeah, Dallas station, and then I was in California, and then
Oh,
in
wow.
Las Vegas,
Oh, nice.
and all over Dallas. Of course, I think somebody hated me in Dallas. You really gotta hate it. You gotta hate a guy really in Dallas, you know, try to bring him down, but they couldn't because I kept switching stations, you know, and so it did well for me.
Yeah,
But
that's good. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
So that kind of pulled you away from your music pursuit.
yeah, it did. I don't understand that. When I was at in Los Angeles on the east side, there's a club there, and on the east side of I can't call it, but they were really happy to, I think it was like a Hawaiian guy, and they
Okay.
were really happy to do something with me. But like music, it goes that way, you know, 1 minute you're in, 1 minute you're out.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Especially back then, things were changing so quickly. There were so many artists who just you couldn't shift like that. But something that was in, you know, 6 months ago was all of a sudden out. What are you supposed to do? You know?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And then I said, well, I can go gospel. But they didn't pay.
Oh, really? Okay.
No. They said, oh, the Lord will see you through.
Yeah, but he's not paying the electric bill, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was, when I'm the worst thing when it comes to fame. One band leader said, Roscoe, I'm going to do this on you, and this is going to work. He said, because Earl doesn't like you. Earl knows who I'm talking about.
Okay.
He said, but at Trish's club, that was a big club then.
Okay.
But it was fairly new, but it was big. You could make it there. He didn't like me. I think because I went with his niece. But I didn't know I was going with her. She didn't say anything to me.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, he barred me from the stage.
Oh, wow.
And T. Bird Gordon said, if he leaves, I leave. If first artist that ever stood up for me,
Wow.
other than Lou Rawls.
Hmm.
And he took me to other places, you know, convention centers and all of that stuff. And I was the real deal.
Oh, wow. That's
And
amazing.
I didn't know it. I was afraid that somebody might not like me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I understand that.
Like Billie Holiday said, they don't like my music. You know?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
so but Lou provided me a chance.
yep. That's amazing.
And I told his son, Lou Jr., and I tell him all the time,
Hmm.
I said, you can be anything you want to be, even at 54.
Yeah. That's
All you
great.
got, yeah, and this COVID crap,
Mm-hmm.
I said, just do a cut. Just do a cut, one cut. And that can tell what this period is. One cut. That's all
Yeah.
you need.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You never know which one, but yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. Now that is the question. Which one?
Yeah.
This one? This one? This
Yeah.
one? And age is going on at the same time.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
That's why it's hard to hold on. You really don't realize what you have till, time passes.
You don't know what you got. My uncle passed away, Buddy Gilstrap, at the oyster bar in the shell upstairs.
Yep.
And that went because Charlie Gambus was a guy who had a restaurant back in the Prohibition days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Buddy upstairs was where the mafia went.
Oh, wow.
And he had a little bar up there. So
Whoa.
everything was turning fast and I was loving it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I got old.
Yeah. Yeah, you blink and you get old, right?
I got old.
Yeah.
But still I want people to know that it's okay. I don't think Lou Jr. knows what he actually is capable of yet.
That's amazing. Yeah. At that age, so it takes a while sometimes just to know. And it must be hard to be the son of somebody who's such a legend too.
That's why he's a late bloomer.
Mm-hmm.
He's waiting for the time when his dad hiccups.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen.
No.
Junior has some cuts out.
Oh, he does. I wondered about that because I read up on you and saw that you had been working with him and know him. You've known him for a while, but I wasn't really sure what he did.
He has a one song called "Doing It for Love" or "Do It for Love." It's got a nice little beat to it. It's online somewhere. I'll hook you up with him.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
Yeah.
Is it a recent song or when did he release that?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
About a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it comes and goes.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that that the Lou Rawls fan club, which I do want you to do something on, especially I do all your Lou Rawls things that you have, and load them on there so that people can see them.
Oh, great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
See, I told guys over and over and over, it's Lou Rawls fan club. If you start doing shows and all these things that don't have anything to do with Lou Rawls, and you expect me to put it out there, that's not what I'm doing. All you got to do is do Lou Rawls, and I'll put it on there. But
Well, that makes sense.
You cannot exclude him and have me working for your butt, to do that.
No.
So I told him, I said, I said, now, you see, Nick DiMatteo says Lou Rawls.
Right.
Lou Rawls. That's all you got to do.
Right.
And it'll be on there. It's not hard.
It's not, it's right there in the name, I mean, what else would it be about?
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, Lou Rawls fan club, Lou Rawls, do something on Lou and I'll do it on you.
And so you're hoping that with the fan club, you want to kind of spread the word and get more people back to knowing Lou Rawls' music and how great he was and all of that?
Yes, because while I was doing it, he was fading and I'm fading, and I want people to know his legacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lou Jr. says that he wants to have his father's legacy.
Wasn't there, I read something that he was working on a biopic or something like that, and he was going to make a film about his dad?
Yeah. Well, I think I think that that was then and this is now.
Okay.
Yeah. And but he might come out of the woodwork on something. You just never know.
I've always thought, and I said this a little in my podcast, that when you put him together with other singers in that general style, there's still no one who had the voice that he had. And how you can be so polished and yet so gritty and unique, and to put all this together, I mean, who else did it the way he did it?
That was his grandmother.
In what way?
Well, she beat the daylights out of him.
Oh, okay.
Because old people, from what I understand, and I'm old,
Okay.
old people had a way of whipping you. Everything was a switch. And they were funny too.
And they were funny too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Richard Pryor.
Oh,
Richard
I see
Pryor.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, they were funny with it,
Yeah.
And the men were heavy-handed on the boys. And the girls got a free ride.
Right.
Don't you dare hit me. Don't you dare hit me.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about? He'll
Yeah.
beat you. He'll tear your ass up. But don't you dare hit me. And she walks around like she's prima donna. Well, that's how it works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
So you think how Lou Rawls was brought up is what kind of brought that into his music?
Yeah, part of it. He brought that happened. And he had, Lou used to be really skinny. He used to be really, really skinny.
Yeah.
And you don't know it now. I mean, by the way he looked then, but but
You know.
yeah, but really, he loved his grandmother. He was raised up by her, and he got a chance. Sam Cooke got him a chance.
Yeah.
Now, some people say Sam didn't get him a chance, but Sam went to Capitol first, and Lou went afterwards. And I know some people say that, oh, well, he was all his own man and blah, 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 blah. Well, that's conjecture.
Okay.
I put it this way, it didn't hurt for Sam Cooke to go first and say, hey, I got my buddy in here. Come on in.
Yeah. So you feel like he got his and kind of did, you know, the best he did with it, but didn't forget about, you know, Lou Rawls, and he helped him through.
Right, because he was singer in the Pilgrim Travelers.
Right, right.
And also Lou Rawls Jr., that was his godfather, Sam
Oh
Cooke.
my God, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so, and then Shaka Khan was Lou Rawls' cousin.
No way. I didn't know that. Huh.
Mhm. Yeah, so
Small world. Jeez. So what would you want? We're coming up to the end of the interview here. What would you want to leave people with as far as anything about, you know, your life or Lou Rawls that you would want people to be left with here at the end of this?
well, I'd like for Lou to be recognized for all of his thunder for as long as he can be.
Mm.
And for the Lou Rawls fan club to be a fan club where he's recognized just for his music, for you know, he says that he thinks that he had rap music because he was rapping music before they had it.
Yeah.
But it was like he had to keep people quiet. So he would say something like, you know, my grandmother, boy, I tell you, she used to whip my butt, blah, 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 and everything, and get them listening to it, and then he'd start singing. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So that, I mean, just things like that. I wish I could see Lou Jr. doing some things.
Yeah, it sounds like he needs, you know, to trust himself, because from what you're saying, he really has talent and he should be seen by the world.
Yeah, I don't know when he'll jump up and do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of those spur of the moment things.
Yeah, it might have to be. Don't think about it too much, you know, just jump
Yeah.
in.
If I had one thing to say, and I'm here in Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
I would want a Lou Rawls type band, because I think it's gonna come back.
I agree.
And there's a lot of work that I have to do because, you know, my voice is, even so, I can still do it.
Oh yeah.
And I think that people have been, see we're like 50 years or something over the registry, and I don't think blues and jazz were enough. during that time, the 70s, 80s,
Mm-mm.
because disco was coming in about the 80s.
Yeah.
And I think blues is like fine wine. It's that you just can't get enough.
Yeah.
And 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 it's a thing that people need to understand, because it lends itself to the dynamics of music even more so than some other music like blues and jazz. That's where
I agree. Yeah.
that's where it started.
Yes. So much of everything started from there. It's like my son takes Latin in school, and he talks about how the reason why he likes taking that is because that language, you can see it in every other language that came after it. And I feel like that's how the blues is, like every other kind of music that came after it. You can hear the blues somewhere in there.
It's the original African music. Blues came in, you heard this. You heard that. That is the African knock.
Hmm.
All music started off with, and then it went on.
Wow. Oh, that's great.
And when we came here, we had the same thing. It's humongous. But they got genres so they can corner it different places where you don't realize it, but it's happening.
It's been happening for way too long. Yeah, there's too much separating music like that hurts the music, and it hurts everybody, because you might not listen to something, you think, oh, it's called some genre, and not realize that you can relate to it because the name doesn't make you think you can relate to it. But if you just listen to it, you realize that it's in there, you know.
And the thing, and you're exactly right. I said that you were many times, and I want people to know it, that music is not a genre. Music is music. And it is.
That's right.
It is what we have. If we're going to go to another planet, just say, if we go to another planet, music is going to be played. Genres is not going to be played. Genres are supposed to make sure that you get this little dollar here and you get that little dollar there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you throw on your brakes, then you're wiped out, you know. And it's it's just like Michael Jackson said, I'm number one everywhere else, but not number one here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
We have that problem here. It's true.
So anyway, thanks a lot for your show, and thank you for what it means to the people. They're not really caught on to it yet, because they don't understand that music is not a genre. They don't understand genre, but music is music, and whatever people like, they like. And so you look at this. People like country western because the first country western song was done by a Black minister.
Yes, that's right.
You see? And so they're going to make that, what are they going to do with him?
Right.
The people that stole the music, appropriated it, did so at his loss.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
over and over again. Yeah, so many people, so many artists don't get the credit they deserve.
I think you're on to something. Like maybe one day you know, somebody can do a song and create a song and it makes big money, even if people don't want it to. And
Yep.
I
Yep.
think that's somewhere down the line. But anyway, thank you so much, and appreciate you doing the Lou Rawls Fan Club. I tell you what, if you go to www.official Lou Rawls Fan
Mhm.
Club.com
Okay.
/groups. No. If you go to facebook.com
Yeah.
/groups, GROUPS /Lou Rawls fans.
Yes. Okay.
That
I'll
would
put
be
that
it.
link in with the rest of the interview. I'll put the link down. So
Yeah.
you click on it. Yeah.
I would like to do a link for Lou Rawls Jr.
Okay.
Fan club on Facebook. And I would like to, in that little link area,
Mm-hmm.
to have Reverb Nation on there.
Absolutely.
And you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Your Patreon thing there. You know, people are broke, but
That's right.
other people are not broke.
Mm-hmm. It's
You
true.
see, and so those people are
Find those people.
Yeah, those people are be the ones that light this fire under you and get you going where you can do what you want to do. It's going to happen.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, listen, it takes time, it takes diligence, you know, just keep at it until something clicks and it starts to grow,
Yeah.
you know.
Look at me. I've been at it with Lou Rawls Fan Club for the 70s.
Yeah, see, right. It just takes time.
I'm like, all right.
Well, and listen, thank you for being
about
on this
time.
show. I really appreciate you taking the time with me. It's fascinating. Everything's just so fascinating, and I'm glad we had a chance to talk about all this. And I hope everybody out there listens to what we said and checks out all of the links. And you know, you were the guest, so they should go to the Reverb Nation page and hear you sing more than just the song that we heard at the beginning. In fact, I'm going to put one more song at the end of the interview here. We'll talk about which one later, but I want people to be left with not just everything we talked about and Lou Rawls and all of that, and music is not a genre, but with your voice, because I think that that people deserve, you deserve to be heard more too. So thank you for.
You know, I'm just going to say this right now, and just get on this show and watch it every chance you get, because it's really going to make a big difference now.
Oh, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Nick.
And thank you to everybody out there. Again, please, you know, click all of the links and listen to all the music. And this is Nick DiMatteo and Lon Dorsey. I will talk to you next week.
Peace.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come fly with me, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Llama Land there's a one-man band and he'll toot his flute for you. Come fly with me, let's take off in the blue. Once I get you up there, where the air is rarefied, you'll just fly, starry-eyed. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You, my dear, angels cheer because we're together. We're the wisest such a lovely day. Just say the words and we'll lead the birds down to Acapulco Bay. It's perfect for a flying honeymoon. They say, come fly with me. Come fly with me. Pack up, let's fly away. Be sure you ask your mama.